Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Billy and Joe Top 10 Show. I am Billy.
Hey, I'm Joe. Good to see you.
And Joe has his own podcast. It's called Indy's Local Flavor. Head on over to iTunes. Just type in Indy's Local Flavor and it'll come up, I promise you, on one of your favorite broadcasting or podcast platforms. We haven't done a show in a while.
Right.
Joe is coming to us from Indianapolis.
Where it's 44 and feels like 36.
And Billy is coming from Houston, Texas, where it is 66 and feels like 66.
Good.
Joe is coming to us from Indianapolis, where the Final Four in the NCAA tournament is being held.
Right.
Joe is coming to us from Indianapolis, where no team from the state of Indiana is in the tournament.
Right. They're all done.
Billy is coming to you from the state of Texas, where the University of Houston is still playing, and the Baylor Bears are still playing.
Good.
Baylor Bears, coached by someone from the state of Indiana. University of Houston
Right.
Cougars, coached by someone who used to coach at Indiana.
Right.
And he got sanctions against Indiana University. And then I think the next year, those things were illegal that he did when he did, for the reason that they got on probation.
Sounds
Serious.
complicated.
Okay. Before we turn to Joe
Mhm.
on hit news and tidbits,
Mhm.
if John Wooden was in his prime right now, alive and
Right.
in his prime, and
Mhm.
Indiana University said, "We're hiring John Wooden," you would hear whining, bitching, and complaining from you Hoosier fans. You're never happy. Never happy. Never, never, never. And I hope Coach Woodson just rubs it in your face, wins a national championship or two, and you look like an idiot when you decided to be, "Ooh, I'm big and mighty and powerful behind my computer keyboard." I'm done.
Yeah. Everybody's superstar behind the keyboard. And that's
Now,
putting it
I
mildly.
will say that I'm a little bit biased because Mike Woodson is a broader rocket.
Yeah. Go Rockets.
Graduated 10 years before I did. Indiana All-Star. The only reason why he wasn't Mr. Basketball was because Coach Smith was his coach and he spoke his mind.
Right.
But I just wanted to get that off of my chest. Congratulations to Coach Mike Woodson. I think they may have got it right this time. And I will say that they didn't get it right if he doesn't get it right. So, give the guy a break. You got to give everybody a break. Someone said that Archie Miller was a home run choice to be the Indiana University basketball coach.
Right.
Well, home run choices don't get fired. So he wasn't a home run.
More like a bunt.
So that is it for me. You are watching the Billy and Joe Top 10 Show on the YouTube channel, Keeping the Nostalgia Live Show. Thank you for tuning in. Please also subscribe to our page, the Billy and Joe Top 10 Show on Facebook. We try to update it as often as possible. I haven't seen or talked to Joe in a while. Both Joe and I have both Joe and I have diabetes, so we're kind of like two peas in a pod, and we can kind of bounce stuff off of each other. So sorry we haven't been back on as much as we could have. But Joe, you want to give us a little bit of an update and chime in on a couple things?
Sure. About the Mike Woodson thing. I think it's a smart choice for IU. I'm not invested as you are, Billy, but I think it's a smart choice for IU. I think the alumni needs to give him some leeway. So I think he'll do fine. Just give him some time. He's going to need some time to get his people in there and get his recruits in there, but he'll do fine. The scoreboard for NCAA action, Gonzaga's already taken out Creighton. Michigan is leading Florida State right now. Coming up tonight, UCLA is taking on Alabama at 7 on TBS. It's a Pac-12 lineup for the nightcap. It's a USC and Oregon at 9:30 on TBS. The great Elgin Baylor passed away recently. amazing Los Angeles Laker, played with Jerry West and all the great classic Lakers out there. The way I understand it, he was the first basketball player to slam dunk a basketball during a game, which seems minor now, but at that time was a big deal. So we wish our best to his family and friends. I don't know if you've seen it, Billy, but the Zack Snyder Justice League version is 4 hours, but it is, if you like Superman or Batman or Wonder Woman at all, it is worth watching. I broke it up into 2 nights, 2 hours each, but it's well worth watching. And Falcon and the Winter Soldier just came out, and they've got 2 episodes on that, and that's pretty good as well.
Very cool. Very cool. We got to give kudos to the Indiana Hoosier women's basketball team.
Yes.
They're going to their first Elite Eight also, I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe so. Yes.
I saw a lot of those keyboard operators say that they ought to hire the girls coach, which, I don't have my normal glasses today. I'm sorry. I'm wearing pink. I feel like John Mellencamp mood, I guess.
That's fine.
I have my other glasses that I use for this. So, but congratulations to the Lady Hoosiers, the women Hoosiers, the Hoosiers. So that would be great to see them in the Final Four. So since it is NCAA basketball, since Michigan's not one of my favorite teams, it looks like you're going to win. So you're not missing anything if you're watching the show, or we're not missing anything if we're not watching the basketball game. Florida State looks absolutely pitiful, no energy. We're going to keep the subject with basketball and NCAA, and if I'm not mistaken, the top 10 plus a bonus pick with NCAA basketball coaches of all time.
I just did coaches.
Oh, all right, man. Okay, so I'm going to stick with the college, and we can kind of go back. Give us a little bit more fodder to talk about. So,
okay.
Awesome.
Okay.
Just coaches. All right. Okay. This will be interesting. This is what happens when you only talk about diabetes.
My mom says,
and going back and forth on what time we're going to do the show, and then one of us saying, "Hey, can we do a half hour later?" Hey, I'm going to run just a little bit late. Hey, all right, cool.
My number, I just did coaches, so
that's okay, man.
Of all time, my number 11, because he had to deal with so many characters, is Billy Martin of the Yankees.
Very interesting. Yes, multiple times rehired. Sad that he kind of mystery surrounds it. I know he died in an accident, an auto accident, but mystery still kind of surrounds that and kind of hides that a little bit, and that kind of bums me. But gone too soon, which he could have told more stories about. Tastes great.
Yeah,
tastes great.
There
we go, Joe. There we go. We had to get a good 10 minutes in before we got the mojo. the Bill Joe back in. But no, I see that. I see that. So mine is just going to be an NCAA basketball one. I'm going to make some of those people that I talked about earlier, the keyboard operators, mad at me. I'm just going to call them keyboard operators. And at number 11, Dean Smith.
He's on my list. He's hired.
He is on your list.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I got him number 11 in basketball coaches, man.
Yeah.
They had way too much talent.
They did.
To have 2, maybe. I think 2 in
championships. Yeah.
But great guy, great coach,
Yeah. My number 10 is Mr. Come Over himself, Gene Cady.
This is no lie, people. Number 10 right there. Gene Cady. Now that is whack. We didn't even know what show we were doing.
No, we didn't.
And at number 10 is Gene Cady. When you look back upon his career,
Mm-hmm.
You didn't appreciate him enough.
No.
You did not appreciate Gene Katie enough, and you guys should be ashamed of yourself. So no, that I have. I mean, I'm sorry it's be a shortened number 10, but I have Gene Katie right there on my list too, man.
Yeah, he's
Well, he didn't win the big one. He was a great coach, won a lot of games for Purdue, won Big Ten championships. You have to be very lucky, along with being very good, to win an NCAA basketball championship.
Now, who was he the assistant with at St. John's? And I'm drawing a blank on his name. Lavin?
Yes.
Yeah.
Steve Lavin, who coached at UCLA.
Okay. All right.
But you've got to be, on top of being very good, you've got to be very lucky and have some breaks fall your way to win an NCAA championship.
Yes.
Ask Villanova in 1985.
No kidding.
To be honest with you, ask Gonzaga this year if they finally make a clean sweep and make it perfect for this year. They had to have some breaks, which is also luck, people.
My number 9 is I tried to represent everybody on this list. So my number 9 pick from the ABA, Bobby Slick Leonard.
Oh, very nice. Boom, baby.
Yeah.
Boom, baby. Now, what's interesting is that I'm going to go off cue and I'm going to improvise. And since Florida State has no energy and it's up to their coach to provide energy and coach your team to win the ball game against Michigan today, I had Leonard Hamilton slotted in at number 9, who is the Florida State coach and has been there for a while and is a great basketball coach. But you're fired, just like my producer was a couple of weeks ago by Joe.
Yeah.
And I'm slapping in there Sparky Anderson.
I've got him on my list. He's higher, yes.
But it's hard to be an NCAA basketball coach in today's time. So I did have Leonard Hamilton on there, but I'm going to slap Sparky Anderson there. Fabulous. One of the few to win a National League World Series championship and an American League World Series championship. So,
yeah,
Sparky.
Great coach. My number 8, I was going back and forth, and my deciding factor was he got Dennis Rodman to perform, which is a miracle in itself, Phil Jackson. So
I agree with that, and man, the egos that he had to coach with, I'm sure was pretty hard. Yeah. I mean, that's a victory within itself. But I agree with you there with old Phil Jackson, and he's not that old. I don't know what he does. Is he fishing up in Montana and his waders, or what do you do after you have a successful career like that, and all of a sudden you're not doing it anymore? I guess maybe I don't have to worry about that until I have a successful career at something.
He's a Zen master. He's practicing Zen.
Probably offended somebody by doing that. Sorry about that. Okay. Number 8. Don't ever give up. Jim Valvano from the North Carolina State Wolfpack.
Love Jim Valvano. Yeah. Jimmy V.
I know both Joe and I had some miscommunication on what we're doing for our lists, but so far so good. And I have Jimmy Valvano also gone before he should have, at number 8 on my list of coaches.
Right. My number 7, I was trying to think of college football, and I didn't have a lot of people to go with, so I went with the obvious choice, Bear Bryant of Alabama. He just got so many recruits year after year after year. So that's how that all kind of started in the SEC anyway.
Yes, and I'm going to do another audible.
Okay.
And Omaha. And, how much of a great coach do you think really Tony Dungy was? Once again, I'm assuming in football, you also have to be lucky, and you also have to be good, but you also have to you're also making coaching decisions. So
he was a great coach, and I just wish he would have stood up to Irsay when Brooks and Lynch, and Sapp wanted to play for the Colts. So, yeah, they could have had another ring.
I forgot about you telling me that at a previous show about that.
Yeah, but yeah, Dungy was a great coach. He deserved everything he got, and that was, I understand why he walked away when he did, because of his son. But yeah, fantastic coach.
And Tony Dungy slides there in front of Huggy Bear, Bob Huggins. Would have been number 7 on my top 10 plus one basketball coaches. But
I'm going to call Omaha. You need to watch. I know you're having problems with your password, but on ESPN Plus, Peyton interviews Tony Gonzalez about talking basketball on the gridiron, and Peyton Manning takes on Tony Gonzalez in a horse. And the funny part is when Peyton's daughter comes on, and it's fantastic. You would love it.
I'm going to have to check that out because Tony Gonzalez, of course, played for the University of California Golden Bears.
Yes.
And then went on to have a fantastic career in the NFL. So,
yeah.
In fact, if I'm not mistaken, I think he was on one of those California teams that played Indiana University, but I'm not sure. But I will check that out. Thank you for the recommend.
Certainly. My number 6, I had to have somebody from the AFL. I'm a huge AFL guy. Weeb Eubank, coach of the Jets, who upset the Colts in Super Bowl III.
And not to get confused with what was the game show? Wasn't there a game show host, Bob Eubanks?
Yes.
But I guess you can't. The only way you could find Weeb Eubanks is on the web.
Right. Yes. Dun, dun.
All fresh stuff, people. All because you aggravated me on you being aggravated at the your choice as Indiana University. Who's your basketball coach? You drove me this way. Okay, so my number 6 would be an also great comb over, Denny Crum, University of Louisville.
I forgot all about him.
NCAA champion 1980, NCAA champion 1986. There's more to that. Him getting his start with John Wooden. John Wooden teaching him everything he knows, and then of course he goes and wins a couple national championships himself. Still alive, still looks healthy. I would have loved, even though it isn't this is a bad word I'm getting ready to use, so I may bleep it out upon editing. Just because the university was in Kentucky doesn't mean it's all bad.
I don't.
Louisville's in Kentucky. I didn't want to say the K word,
Oh, you're gonna believe Kentucky? Okay.
Right. Because I'm gonna make some people aggravated here, but this is all fun and games. You know what? Birds fly upside down over Kentucky, right?
Everybody craps on Kentucky.
No, because there's nothing worth pooping on.
There you go. Yeah. I'll say my apologies to Uncle John there in Lexington.
Okay, all right. And Jody Whittaker, I'm so sorry. I know you were Miss Basketball 1985 from Austin, Indiana, and you probably don't even watch this, so I'm
not. My number 5 is the Wizard of the Hardwood. Now they're questioning how he got all those players year after year after year. John Wooden.
Yeah. We'll never know until Judgment Day, people. We're not going to know how Elvis really died. We're not going to know who shot John F. Kennedy. We're not going to know anything about Bill Clinton. We're not going to know. There's just a lot of stuff we're not going to know until Judgment Day. So, unless you actually watch it live and it happens, and still there can be some distortion to those kind of things. But I have heard a lot about that, but I've heard about it. That's, nothing factual or nothing's changed. I still see all of their banners hanging up there in Pauley Pavilion or wherever they play now.
Yeah.
So, and that was your number 5?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, someone who kind of changed the game and paved the way for other coaches is John Thompson.
Yes, sir. Good pick.
Yeah. Good pick. Georgetown basketball coach. Also one of the few people I think who coached an men's NCAA basketball championship and played and won a ring in the NBA.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
and I think that was with the Boston Celtics.
Yes.
You know what really gets left behind with the Boston Celtics is they're always talking about Red Auerbach and these 9 times he won the NBA title. Who won these other years? He didn't
Bill
win 9 in a
Russell.
row, right?
I thought they won 11.
Oh, okay. Did it win 9 in a row?
I
10
think
in a
so.
row? 11 in a row? Okay, who
Yeah.
broke the streak, man? Who was before that? Red Auerbach had way too much power in the NBA. Okay, I'm sorry. I digress.
I have no idea. My number 4, as we talked about earlier, he put great teams together, and like you said, didn't win enough titles. Dean Smith. So
Dino, a lot of people have him on the Mount Rushmore of basketball coaches. I do not. I thought he was an underachiever, but with all the talent that he had, so and can be, um, um, but it's okay. It's all right. These are our opinions, right?
right.
It's like the kids getting paid at UCLA. We just don't know it, and we get to have our opinions about who the best coaches are.
Kind of like
So,
Alabama.
and that was number 4, right?
That was my number 4. Yes.
Number 4. So my number 4 lived one farm away from your number 5 growing up. And he was actually asked if he would like to come to UCLA and take over that job, but he said no. But I have a friend of mine who would be great at that job, and his name is John Wooden, and that is I'm talking about Branch Mccracken.
Oh, wow. Yeah, sure.
Yep. Branch Mccracken.
Wow.
I've heard nothing but good things about him. Actually, what's kind of funny is here that we were seeing this, Getting Open, which is the unknown story of Bill Garrett and the integration of college basketball, and a book called Branch, which is about Coach Branch Mccracken. Both very good reads. So I have Branch Mccracken as my number 4.
Okay.
Best basketball coach.
Yeah, good pick. My number 3 built a big red machine that you could watch for free every day in the summer on WTTV, Channel 4, Sparky Anderson of the Cincinnati Reds, and later with the Detroit Tigers, excuse me.
And aren't you glad he really sucked as a baseball player, so he got into managing early?
Yes. Yes.
What a Sparky Anderson? What a just and just cooler than a ice cube, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I love this. I love the Cincinnati Reds growing up. I love the big red machine.
I did too.
And we all have our opinions on each of the individual players, but Sparky Anderson, great baseball mind and manager.
Yeah.
So my number 3.
Yes.
Okay. It was kind of nice not to see him in the tournament this year, just because you need a little fresh faces here and there. But Coach K, Mike Krzyzewski.
Oh yeah.
No matter how much you want to see fresh faces, no matter how much you dislike the guy, he's a winner.
Yeah.
And I'm all about other people getting a shot, but you got to be good enough to knock that person off the perch to get your shot. So,
oh yeah. My number 2, Sonny Jurgensen of the formerly known as Washington Redskins, said he wished he could have played longer with this coach, Vince Lombardi.
Yes, for which the award is named after when you win the pinnacle of the NFL, the Super Bowl.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. Great quotes. Great motivator.
Yes.
And thank goodness so far, so good on not hearing anything bad about him.
You got running through the alley.
So my number 2 is the Wizard of Westwood, John Wooden.
Yes, without a doubt. Sure.
So give him his props. Grew up a farm away from Branch Mccracken when he was a kid. Coached at South Bend Central for a few years. If it wasn't for something here or something there, he may have stayed in the state of Indiana. If Indiana State would have renegotiated his contract, he may have been at Indiana State University, and we would have had banners up on the wall, except the runner-up to Michigan State and Irvin Magic Johnson in 1970. But no, he had to go on out to UCLA and win 10 national titles that I can almost say that record will never be broken.
I agree with that.
Or if it is broken, we will not be alive to see it.
I agree with that. So I can guess your number one. Can you guess my number one?
I can't guess your number one. Oh, just win, baby. Boom. Where'd that truck come from? Partners with Pat Summerall?
No.
Okay, then no, I cannot guess your number one, bro.
I took a left turn.
And that's why you'll go first.
Okay. Everybody thought I was going to say John Madden here.
That's what I was just saying. Boom. Where'd that truck come from?
That's right. And he deserves, all the accolades. However, Tom Flores got into the Hall of Fame. Finally, he was the first coach to take a wild card team and win a Super Bowl. And that was in 81. And then in 83, he won again when he had to deal with all that moving around stuff between Oakland and LA and all that other stuff going on with the NFL. So my number one is Tom Flores of the Raiders.
Nice. And great Coors Light commercial with him in it this past football season, or Super Bowl, or, Coors Light commercials.
Yeah.
So do we even?
Well, I know your number one is.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Probably everybody knows that. Probably knows, just sick of hearing me say it. But one of his students is now the head coach at Indiana University, Mike Woodson. So Robert Montgomery Knight, the general, is my number one coach. You can put Coach K there. You could put John Wooden there.
Yeah, sure.
It's just a matter of opinion when it comes to that, or if you want to, just Coach K, just a matter of victories if you'd like, or Wooden back up there if you want a matter of NCAA championships. So I am a homer for Bob Knight. I was really excited today with the announcement of Mike Woodson being the new head basketball coach at Indiana University. But that is my number one.
What's your coolest thing that you feel about a Bobby Knight? Why he's so special to you?
He's one of those people that if you had him as a teacher or had him as a dad, you would want to do well for him to tell you that you did well.
Right. Sure.
Right. And for as many times as I submitted a list of questions to his former executive assistant, Marianne Davis, and for her to come back and say, no, he said they're all dumb.
Of course he did.
But you know what? You love the guy or hate the guy. There are things that you do not know that he's done that, it's like somebody said the other day, is that if you're helping someone, don't tell us that you're helping someone or what you're doing for someone. Just help the person and move along. I mean, don't be boastful about what you're doing. You're just putting to shame what you're doing in the first place. Don't be boastful about it. And there are a lot of things that he's done. There's a lot of bad things that he's done. There's a lot of dumb things he said. There's a lot of dumb things we've all said and done. But I've read quite a bit behind the scenes stuff. And if a former player called him and needed something, he would do it for him in a heartbeat.
Yeah. For me personally, why I've always respected Bobby Knight is the Anderson connection. Bobby Wilkerson, Ray Tolbert, Stu Robinson, and Winston Morgan all went to Indiana University through Anderson Madison Heights through Coach Phil Buck, and they had a great connection. So I've always respected Bobby Knight for that connection. And that was my first college team that I started following when I was a kid. And it was kind of like a no-brainer.
when Mike Woodson decided to sign and play for Bobby Knight Indiana University, his teammate at Broad Ripple, his name was Don Cox, and he decided to go to Indiana University also. And then there was a little bit of a breakdown, I think, in Kent Benson's senior season, the 76-77, the year after perfection. And there was a little drug scandal with marijuana.
Okay.
Mike Woodson continued on probation, and Don Cox was one of those players who was let go out of his scholarship, and Don had to go play college basketball someplace else. But Don Cox, Mike Woodson, and of course Don Cox's brother Jerry Cox, who wasn't as good as Don, but played. They were all friends growing up. People don't know that, but there's hard decisions to make as a coach, and there's decisions that that are hard, that are both hard and easy to make.
Right.
So there's, and the thing of it is nowadays, anybody can twist. As long as you're a good spinner, anybody can twist something into how you want to make you feel that you're right about a certain issue or topic.
Yeah. And the other thing that really I've respected Coach Knight over is how he treated Landon Turner after the accident on the way to Kings Island. So that was total class all the way. So that was a good pick.
Yeah, and with him, getting with Red Auerbach, and because he's created a relationship with Red Auerbach, probably through John Havlicek, to get Landon to be drafted. And granted, it was the last, the Celtics' last pick in the 10th round when the NBA had 10 rounds, but what a class act.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So another Billy and Joe top 10 show in the book. This was really about Joe being in Indianapolis, me being in Houston, the people in Houston having more teams in the NCAA tournament than Joe. 0.
And that's okay.
Which was kind of was a bummer, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It was sad to see. Games. I mean, I love Coach Matt Painter, and I don't want him, continue coaching, please. But it was a bummer to see beautiful Hinkle Fieldhouse, Bankers House, and Indiana University without a team from the state of Indiana playing on those courts. So
they didn't earn it this year.
No, I agree with that.
Yeah, they didn't earn it this year.
But you had pretty much the second half of the season knowing where it was going to be.
Oh yeah, right.
So
yeah, and Ball State and Butler wasn't that great either. So
no. Well, probably Butler out of them all. At least they made a little bit of run by beating at the end during the Big East tournament. Hey, at least Jim Boeheim and Syracuse Orangemen are out. Okay, so check out Joe Carney's podcast, Indy's Local Flavor. You can Google it. You'll find it on iTunes or probably any other podcast platform that you listen to. Joe, you have anything coming up on your show?
Yeah, I've been sick a couple of weeks, so we're just looking forward to getting right back at it. So, definitely going to talk about T.Y. Hilton signed it for $10 million. So I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about the other things that are going on. The Bears got A.J. Dalton, and I'm like, Andy Dalton, excuse me. So we're going to talk some football, going to talk some basketball, talk some movies and music. So we'll see what happens.
Okay, so that's Indy's Local Flavor with your host, Joe Carney. Joe is a co-host with me on the Billy and Joe Top 10 show. Go to Facebook, like our page. Go to Keeping the Nostalgia Live show. You don't have to put "the" in front of it, I found out. Just go to Keeping the Nostalgia Live show on YouTube. I have a couple of big interviews coming up this week. Number one is Luke Brown, the Indiana high school basketball player that everybody has fallen in love with or everybody hates because they're haters. We're going to have Luke Brown on here as a youngster that's going on to play at Stetson University. Top 10 in assists, top 10 in scoring all time in Indiana high school basketball history. Just a fabulous guy. He's going to be my youngest guest on the Keeping the Nostalgia Live show. You can also find all of our audio podcasts at Keeping the Nostalgia Live. That's all one word, keepingthenostalgialive.podbean.com. Joe, once again, it was a pleasure. I look forward to our next week's worth of topic.
Yeah, it was lots of fun. I'm sure we'll be on board next week.